I believe everyone should get the opportunity to travel while they're young. But see, the problem with that is when we're young, we don't really have a lot of money. And so that's why I'm going over the top 5 destinations that you should see in your 20s while still sticking to a budget. Hey everyone, it's Troy from flowfreely.com, and before we get started with the video, I just wanted to do a quick shout out to all the artists and videographers and photographers that created the videos that I'm using as the background videos as I go through this list. They're not my videos, so you can find the links to all the artists in the description below. Go show them love and support because they truly are talented. Now without further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright, going in the order of lowest price to highest price, number 1 is going to be Guatemala City, Guatemala. When I was doing the research for this video, I almost booked my flights right there and then. See, I use my own website, flowfreely.com, to book my trips. And as a disclosure, I am affiliated with Jet Radar, which I use to book the flights. And I chose them as an affiliate because I found that they have the lowest prices available for flights, and I wanted to be associated with that. Because when I looked up trips to Guatemala, there is a trip right now for $220 round trip. $220. I don't care who you are, you can afford a $220 flight. You can accurately estimate the rest of your vacation costs, but a $220 flight, you're off to an excellent start. And there is so much to do in Guatemala, it's not even funny. So if you're big on the outdoors like I am, and you love going on adventures, then Guatemala is the place for you. And that's why I was so close to booking this trip right here and now. Now to go along with the adventure spirit, you could also go for a hike along the Pacaya volcano. Now what's cool is that the Pacaya volcano is still active to this day. It first erupted back 23,000 years ago, but it has erupted many more times since then. Now, not like huge eruptions, but it is still an active volcano that you can go hike at. Now, I think that's a pretty badass experience. Now, if you want a more relaxed day, then check out Chichicastenango. Yeah, that was a mouthful. Chichicastenango is an open air market, and it's known for its Maya culture. So if you have the time, I highly encourage you make a trip out there just to pick yourself up something nice, or even just to explore the area. All right, coming in at number 2 on this list is Belize City, Belize. Now this is high up there on my destination list as well, as in places I want to go to in the very near future. Again, using my website, I was able to find flights for $267 round trip out of San Antonio. Belize City is very popular for tourists, not only because it's affordable, but because of what it has to offer. Just taking a few minutes to go through TripAdvisor, I was able to find multiple awesome activities for pennies on the dollar. One of the first things I would do is I'd go cave kayaking. I feel like that's a very unique experience, and not one that's all that readily available to you anywhere else. Now, I've been in caves before, and I've even taken boats through some caves, but I've never actually kayaked through caves. I've never been the one that was captaining a vessel through a cave. So you know I'd be jumping on that opportunity. If you're down for more adventure and a little bit of a day trip, then check out Zunantunich. It's about 70 miles west from the main city of Belize City, but it's an ancient Maya ruin that is just waiting to be explored. So whether you go the guided route or just going on your own, it'd still make for an amazing day full of adventure. See, I'm a big history guy, so if there's an opportunity to see history up close in person, be able to actually like explore that history, then 100% I'm gonna be there. And if you're not in the mood to go west, then head up north about 50 miles and then you'll see Altun Ha, which is another Mayan ruin that can be coupled with a tour down the old river of Belize. So not only will you get to explore this ancient Mayan ruin, you'll also get to explore the ancient river of Belize on your way there. It's like some stuff straight out of like Uncharted or something. Alright, coming in at number 3 is my personal favorite city in the world, Barcelona. Now, Barcelona is my favorite city for many, many reasons. And the fact that it's surprisingly affordable to get to is just more the reason. Right now, I found flights for $544 round trip out of San Antonio to Barcelona. $544 to go all the way to Barcelona. That's wild. And I've been to Barcelona multiple times, and so I know that the lodging and the food and stuff is absolutely affordable. So I've stayed in an entire place, and I've stayed in a shared room on Airbnb, and I never paid more than $60 a night. The shared room, I paid like $20 a night. But outside of just being affordable, Barcelona has just a mind-blowing amount of opportunity in it. Outside of Antoni Gaudi's portfolio of architectural masterpieces, Barcelona is packing some of the most fun you'll ever have in your life. And that's why I mentioned Antoni Gaudi first, is because I don't want to include him and his architecture on the list of 3 things that I would do in Barcelona, just because his architecture is everywhere. It's everywhere. So just being in Barcelona, you'll be able to see and experience his masterpieces. As for more specific things to do, the first thing I do is visit Camp Nou, otherwise known as the home of FC Barcelona. See, I'm not the biggest soccer fan in the world, but I'm a huge sports fan. And I know that Camp Nou is pretty significant. I mean, the thing seats almost 100,000 people. I was able to take a guided tour through the entire camp for I think like $20, $30. And I got to see the locker rooms, I got to go up into the stands, the grandstands, the press boxes, everything. I didn't get to go on the field, that's a more expensive package, but For the $20, $30 I did spend, I got hours of entertainment just walking through the entire stadium and checking out the museum. And the second thing I would do, which I didn't get to do in either of my trips to Barcelona for whatever reason, is to visit the Magic Fountain. And to be honest, I didn't know it existed until well after my trips. But I'm a huge fountain guy. I love fountains, and I love fountains that put on a show. And the Magic Fountain in Barcelona absolutely puts on a show. And then the third thing, which is a no-brainer, is Barceloneta. So if you love the beach and you love partying, then this is like the perfect place for you. The perfect place. If you're taking this trip with friends, or even if you're going alone, Barceloneta, I guarantee you, is gonna be a hell of a time. They've got club after club after club on the beach, so the party really never stops. All right, coming in at number 4 on this list is Iceland. Now, you'll most likely be flying into, let's see if I pronounce this correctly, Reykjavik. Was that right? I feel like that was right. Reykjavik. That's where you'll probably be flying into. Iceland is famous for its ring road that circles the entire country. Personally, it's on my bucket list. I want to take a good 10-day trip and just travel around the entire ring road because each day you're going to see something new. Iceland is incredibly diverse when it comes to its environment. You can go from green grass to black sand beaches in like a day. As of right now, the closest airport to me is San Antonio International Airport, which isn't the biggest airport in the world, but I can still find flights to Iceland leaving in October for under $600. Now, if you know how to properly budget, then that $600 isn't all too unrealistic. Now, what are some of the things that you can do in Iceland? Some of the flagship things that you should visit. If I were to go to Iceland right now and I wasn't doing the ring road, some of the things that I would focus on would be to dive in between the tectonic plates. Yeah, who can say they've dove between 2 tectonic plates? I mean, let's be realistic. One of my good friends managed to experience that in the middle of winter, so no matter what time you go, you'll be able to do it. And she said it was one of the craziest experiences of her life. Now, on top of that, the second place I would see is the black sand beach. Like I said, Iceland is otherworldly. I haven't been anywhere near a black sand beach in my entire life. It's always just been that regular old sand. But getting the opportunity to see a black sand beach is it's like visiting a different planet. And speaking of visiting, the third thing I would do is I'd go and tour all the filming locations of Game of Thrones. See, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and a lot of the scenes were actually filmed in Iceland. See, touring around to see all the filming locations wouldn't just let me see just the filming locations, but the adventure that leads me into each filming location would be an adventure of its own. And who knows what I'd be able to see. All right, and finally, number 5, the most expensive option, Singapore. So this is a pretty big trip. This is gonna take a long time to save the money and organize who's going and organize the lodging and all that other stuff. But I'll still able to find flights for under $750. And that's all the way to Singapore, so that's pretty impressive. That's pretty cheap. Now, Singapore just looks like it's graphic effects. It doesn't even look like a real place. You'll see that hotel that has a big ship that goes across the top of it, or you'll see the botanical gardens, or really everywhere you look, it just looks like some sort of cyberpunk movie. So if I was to be taking a trip to Singapore right now, the first place I'd be stopping is Gardens by the Bay. I love flora and fauna. And you mix that with some incredible cyberpunk looking sculptures and structures, then you're gonna have an awesome time. No matter where I go, no matter what trip I go on, visiting a national park or visiting some sort of nature exhibit is always on my list. And that's why number 2 on my list of things to see in Singapore would be the Cloud Forest. So it's this monumental greenhouse that has waterfalls, vegetation, and tall structures just covered in green. Not only is it an amazing display of vegetation and plant, but it's a huge architectural icon. Instead of just touring nature, the third option would just be to walk around the city. More specifically, I want to see that giant boat sitting on top of the hotel. And not only that, I mean, outside of just that building, all the buildings are just lit up. It's just bright, vibrant lights and super modern, out of this world architecture like that you've never seen before. You couldn't even dream of seeing. So if you're looking for like a once in a lifetime opportunity, then Singapore is definitely worth the money. So which place is your favorite? Which place would you want to go to? Leave your answers in the comments below and let's start a discussion. Or if you have some places in mind that I didn't mention, let me know. I'd love to learn about new places. And while you're down there, hit subscribe and click that bell icon so you get notifications whenever I upload. As well as leaving a like and sharing this video with friends so that they know where the cheap destinations are. Thank you guys for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.